The rest of the story. It was a backyard children's party, into the midst of which Grandpa ought never to have brought that .22 rifle, but nevertheless he set up a row of tin cans along the fence, and he allowed the youngsters to take turns plinking at the tiny targets. It was just as 12-year-old Joanna Ottinger was taking her turn that a neighbor boy, Warner Erickson, age 8, ran out from his own yard directly into the path of the bullet. It struck him in the back. The boy crumpled to the ground, screaming, bleeding, yet unable to move. Grandpa and the children rushed to the little boy's side. Moments later, Warner's parents dashed from the house hysterical. Police were summoned. The child was taken to the hospital. The Ericksons swore out a complaint. They had seen everything, they said. The old man had handed the little girl the gun, had told her to fire, had told her to kill their son. Well, this is the rest of the story. Fred Hunt was everybody's grandfather. Balding, gravel-voiced, gregarious, a splendid gold watch chain was permanently proudly draped across his ample tummy, and when he was not wearing one of his shiny, ill-fitting suits, he was settled comfortably into a favorite threadbare brown cardigan whose missing buttons would be forever missing. Strollers past the Hunt house on 8th Street in Cellar on New York were often rewarded for their excursion with the sound of Fred's lusty but insecure baritone. They were mostly vaudeville tunes which he sang, accompanying himself on an ancient upright piano. And yet of all that Fred Hunt treasured in life, heading the list was his 15-year-old granddaughter, Lucy. He cherished her especially, they say, because she so much needed him. One tragedy after another had followed throughout her young life: the death of her father from typhoid, the death of a close family friend in a farming accident, the death of her grandmother, Fred's wife, after an agonizing battle with cancer, and now, when Lucy needed Grandpa most, here he is under arrest and in jail, awaiting trial for the shooting of little Warner Erickson. The neighbor boy had been, in fact, paralyzed, arms and legs. He would die thus, crippled, 5 years later. Painfully, Lucy would be required to testify in court against her grandfather, to tell what she'd seen that afternoon of her brother's birthday party. And ultimately found guilty of gross negligence, Grandpa lost all of his life savings and his house on 8th Street. But Lucy never stopped adoring him, not then, nor ever after. Admirers and observers of the monumental show business career of the woman that teenager became, Lucille Ball, have noted her troubled childhood as the source of the anxious insecurity that drove her to the pinnacle of her profession. Making other people laugh became more important than anything else in the world to her. Less often observed is Lucy's tribute to her grandfather, Fred Hunt, for she brought him back to life in the character of a paunchy, balding, gravel-voiced ex-vaudeville singer on the unprecedentedly popular I Love Lucy show. You always laughed at the Ricardo's neighbor, Fred Mertz. Now you know the rest of the story.
Lucille Ball, born on August 6, 1911, in Jamestown, New York, grew up in a modest household. Her father passed away when she was young, and she was raised by her mother and grandparents. As a child, she developed a passion for performance, which led her to pursue acting in New York City. Ball initially struggled to find her footing, working as a model and taking on various small roles. Her breakthrough came with the success of the television show I Love Lucy in 1951, which she co-created with her husband, Desi Arnaz. Ball's pioneering work in television, both in front of and behind the camera, set new standards for the industry. As the first woman to run a major television studio, Desilu Productions, she played a pivotal role in shaping modern television. Lucille Ball remains a beloved figure, remembered for her comedic genius and trailblazing spirit.